Hey guys, Sam Leverson here with Edina Realty, joined by Shane Hoffman with Edina Realty Mortgage, as always. Today we are coming to you from my childhood home that is currently on the market.
Beautiful.
Yeah, backyard is just, what did you,
It's
tranquil?
tranquil. We're just gonna
He
go with
doesn't
tranquil.
like that word, apparently. I don't know why, but
It's the only word I can think of, though.
yeah,
It's awesome.
yeah, it's
It's amazing back
serene.
here.
Another good one.
Yeah, I'm more on board with that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I can
Serene.
dig that.
All right.
But today, what did we want to talk about, Shane?
We just discussed what we were gonna
Yeah,
talk about.
yeah,
Sam.
we did.
And what was it?
You tell me.
Appraisal gap.
Yeah, exactly.
And how?
Trying to do like an interview kind of thing.
Yeah,
like,
I get
you know,
that.
What were we gonna talk
Yeah,
about?
of course
Shane?
I know. We just discussed
Yeah.
it, so clearly I know. Yeah.
Duh.
Yeah, how do we transition from that? But no, I think, having that specific language in the contract, and we've talked about that a little bit in the past, is just, the mindset of having to come up with more money, right, is always a little
Yeah.
bit daunting for buyers. But
Right.
there is a way to adjust your financing as well to...
If it's written correctly.
If it's written
Otherwise,
correctly,
if it's
right.
not,
So have a good agent who knows
Yep.
that language.
if it's not written in there correctly, where you can change the financing terms to adjust for that appraisal gap, then you do need permission from the seller, which, I mean, why are they going to say no?
Correct.
Like, if it's going to make the sale go through,
Right.
why not? But,
But legally, they still could say no.
yeah,
So take that out of the equation.
Yeah.
So a very specific example that came up today, in fact, where, a buyer of Sam's, and I had a little bit of a low appraisal. It wasn't a lot. I was already kind of part of the purchase agreement was covering a little bit of a gap, but also giving them the ability to go from a certain percentage down to a less down to try to keep their cash to close, what they need out of pocket, basically the same.
yeah,
And so for the buyer themselves, it makes a slight difference in the payment because
Yeah.
you're putting less down essentially, but the cash to close was the biggest, kind
Yeah.
of objective in this example. And really, from the buyer's perspective, outside of a little bit of a monthly difference, the cash to close is very, very similar.
Yeah.
And you're keeping the deal together, and that's what everybody wants at the end of the day.
exactly.
So-
And I also had another one of our clients, brand new to the process. So, I mean, this is totally what everyone else is thinking too, because they don't know to think about these kinds
Sure,
of things.
sure.
But, I mean, we were going to go see something that was lower on their affordability, like
Got it. Oh, yeah, sure.
price point.
Yeah.
Lower in their price point, just to accommodate for having to drive up the purchase price. But they were getting super excited, and they're like, yeah, we can outbid them, and it'll be like perfectly fine. But then it was like, I'm super glad that you are like even willing and excited to do that.
Right.
But there's other things that we do have to think about. Like, you can write $50,000 over list price all day long,
Yeah.
but is it actually going to be looked at? Everything will be looked at, but
Mhm.
in the sense of the sellers aren't guaranteed that money. With the
Right.
appraisal gap, to an extent, depending on how you have it negotiated, the sellers are pretty much guaranteed
Right.
that
Right.
net proceed.
Yep.
So that the appraisal gap is a huge thing right now,
It is massive. I
um,
mean, it's, yeah.
and really making sure that you understand that too.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, and the other thing I really liked about the appraisal gap, and you guys talking about it in advance, or us talking about it in advance, on the financing side, is that, still the majority of the time, in fact, I looked at stats today, it was 84% of the time the appraisal's still coming in at the purchase price. So even in this market of multiple offers and way above, still the majority of the time it's going to come in where it needs to, okay? But having that conversation up front, so if it does come in low, everybody's not just like hair on fire. Oh my God, the world is going
I was
to
not
end.
prepared for this.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Exactly. But so now it's like we're having that conversation up front, and then it's like if it does come in low, it's like, oh yeah, well, we talked about this already, and we have a game plan,
Yeah.
And I think that just makes that stress of that part of it really has kind of tapered back a little bit, which is really nice.
Which really helps because it is an initial shock. Like,
it is. It is. Yeah.
Dang it. Okay.
Somebody's telling me.
Gosh, I have to. Okay. I thought we just put that in there just to be safe, but.
Right. Now we're using
it. Okay.
Yeah. Well, and it's also, a third party going to the property to tell you that maybe it's not as much as what you are paying for it.
Yeah.
Or worth as much,
Yeah.
I always go back to it's one person's opinion at one point in time of saying that it's worth this, and that's what the data says. But there's so many more factors that go into the price,
Right.
But
a lot of moving parts to purchase agreements. It's not just lick it and stick it. Here we go.
Right.
But I mean, that's why you have a good agent on your side.
Absolutely.
Ding.
Ding.
With the smile.
Wink, wink.
What gum commercial was that? Trident?
Spearmint, wasn't it?
Trident?
Oh, maybe it was Trident. I don't know.
Spearmint is a flavor.
Yep. True story.
Yep.
It sure is. Up Trident.
Yep. Okay.
Alrighty.
Anyway.
So, came out with a new gum.
We hope that helped you kind of break down the appraisal clause. We'll do further videos probably just on those financing terms.
Sure.
Just to help you further understand it and better know what to expect in your real estate process. So, thank you for joining us,
Thank
and
you.
we'll see you next week.